Good morning, 7th grade. Sorry you can't be there today. You are going to be taking notes on the next lesson. This is student handout 5, and we are comparing dot plots. Okay, I'll give you a second to find that. You should be prepared. This is going to be an ed puzzle, so you're going to go through, answer a few questions, as well as take notes. We have a few vocabulary words to go over, some notes to take, and then you have some practice problems. You're going to throw your answers in this ed puzzle, and when you're finished submitting it, there is this homework 5 here to work on during class. Okay. And then after that, you to quietly work on Alex. I will be asking for a full report, so I expect you to be on your best behavior. All right, let's get into the notes. A dot plot displays data graphically. Using a small dot for each data piece. The data points are ordered from least to greatest. So we're going to be working on a number line. And each piece of data, so each data point is an actual point. So as you can see, we have a number line down here, and then we have points of data. So when we talk about these, we have different shapes. Symmetric means it looks balanced, right? Skewed right, most of the data is going to be on the left side. So it's kind of counterintuitive, right? But when we are looking skewed right, the data is to the lower data points. Skewed left to the higher data points. So skewed means off center. So symmetric is balanced. So they can be balanced or off center. Okay, but we're going to use the term symmetric and skewed. Okay. Spread. It's how far spread out the data is, right? So the variability or spread, because we can use the term variability. Remember we talked about that yesterday? To vary is to differ. How far apart the data is from one another. It can be represented by the range, which we talked about briefly yesterday. So the range is the difference between the low and high points. Okay, next is center. The median and mean both represent the center of the data. When the data is skewed, then the median is the best representation of the data, or the middle point. When the data is symmetric, the mean, or the average, is the best representation of the data. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at some problems. The video will pause and ask you to input some answers. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and make your dot plots. So we have room 434 over here, and we have room 425 over here. You're going to take these data points, and for each data point, like for 434, I have this 5 here. You're just going to put a dot above 5. All right, go ahead and make your dot plots now. Okay, so your data points should look like this. If they do not, pause and fix your dot plots. Okay, it's asking us 3 questions about these dot plots. Describe the shape of the 2 graphs above. Okay, you should have concluded that the left graph, 434, there's no pattern. While 425 is symmetrical, so we're going to use our new term for that one. Okay. Our next 2 questions, determine the median in each set. Okay, so you're going to determine the median. Okay, so you can write out your numbers and go out from the outside. Remember, the median is the very middle number, so that is 7 for 434. Interesting. And it is 5 for 425. Actually, it's 6. I missed a number there. I only wrote 5 twice, so this is actually 6. So what is the difference between the center of room 425 and the center of room 434? So it's 1, but if we look at context, it's 1 minute. So these are just ways we can use data from scatter plots to find information. So it's asking about minutes traveled to school, and we find out that room 434, not on average, but as a measure of center, travels about 1 minute more than room 425. Okay? All right, the next page, we are going to continue on with using the dot plot here to answer these questions. Okay? So we are looking for distribution is symmetrical, distribution is skewed left. So we are going to mark these are true or false using our notes and our understanding of what the data is. Okay? Go ahead and do that now. Okay, so the distribution for 434 is symmetrical and 425 is left. Well, let's look at this one. 434, we said already it doesn't have a pattern, and 425 is symmetrical. Okay, so they got the numbers of the rooms messed up. And 425 is symmetrical, but 434 has no pattern at all, so that's false. The median number of minutes in room 425 is greater than 434. Well, we already determined 425 is 5 and 434 is 6. So that is false. Room 434 has a smaller range. Now, we didn't look at the range yet, but that's the difference between the lowest and the highest number. So 434, the highest number is 8 and the lowest number is 4. So the range is 4. 425, the highest number is 7, the lowest number is 3. So that's also 4. That's why this one is false. The distribution for 425 is symmetrical, while the distribution for 434 is skewed right. That one is true. Okay, so it leans, not quite sure about that one. All right, so for number 6, we have to go ahead and set up a table and work on the mean absolute deviation. Okay, so that is from our notes from yesterday, so our MAD. This is very similar to all the tables we did yesterday. Okay, so you're going to set up minutes traveled right here, deviation from the mean, so you're going to have to find the mean, and then the absolute deviation from the mean. Then you can plan your MAD. You are not going to have anything in this or this. So do not mark anything in these boxes here. Okay. So remember the mean, you will add these together and divide by the total number of data points. Okay. Okay, so mean absolute deviation. So first we have to find the mean of room 434. We totaled these up. It was 59 divided by 10. So that's 5.9. So subtracting 5.9 from each of these, we've got some negative numbers. Remember, we're looking for the absolute deviation, so these should all be positive. Total those up, you get 15 divided by 10. So our mean absolute deviation for room 434 is 1.5. Same thing over here. We add these up. It's 50 over 10. So 50 divided by 10. Our mean is 5 for 425. So again, taking the absolute deviation and adding it up, 8 divided by 10 is 0.8. So remember, if you need to pause any of these, correct your answers, just pause the video. I am going to keep moving on. We have to make observations now, okay? So 434 is 1.5, 425 is 0.8. So if the MAD is smaller, that means that data is closer to the mean, okay? So MAD 434 MAD is higher than room 425. So room 425 has data closer to the mean. And it also means that room 434 is more variable. Okay, so it's with a smaller MAD, we can predict data better. So how is the difference in the centers related to the variability of each classroom? So we already said that room 434's data is more variable, okay? So 434 has a difference. Oh, I'm sorry, they both have a difference of 0.9 and it is closely related to 425 MAD. Or mean absolute deviation. Okay, that's about it for the video. Remember, rewind if you missed some notes, go take notes, make sure all your questions are answered, and you watch this fully to the end to get full credit. Here is your homework, so you're going to use class time for this. Please ask questions. So it's going to ask you, remember median, mean. You're going to have to go ahead and list these out to find the median and mean. Okay, so the median is the middle number. So you're going to go from the outside in order. And then the mean, it's going to give you the mean absolute deviation. And you're going to have to say what this means. You've got some true false. And then you have another question about whether the data is skewed or not. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to be comparing box plots, and then we are going to be preparing for a test on this unit. Fantastic. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good.